Hello friends, welcome to my Princess Diana channel. Before moving on to the video, if you are not subscribed to my channel, do not forget to subscribe and turn on notifications, so let's move on to the video. People in the UK are now outraged by the final betrayal. The demand for an apology from Harry and Meghan has broken all bounds. Indeed, they say, life in general is a struggle, and the battle is a familiar concept, but each of us fights, be it a struggle with a stratum that is on the edge of subjectivity, or a struggle for our freedom. In our case, the struggle still continues to obtain justice from Harry, a disgraced former queen who personifies treason and lies, even if he is deprived of character, as native people are not like this subject. However, it is a danger that is very real because it remains unchallenged. No one else will protect real pushers, because they aim for treason. The irony is obvious. For the life of me, have you already seen a relatively dull duke who isn't microphones aside from the trickster he consults propaganda with? I highly doubt it. Except on the following basis. But is he really the poster child for those ideals, or is he simply reaching for the last straw of his ever-diminishing stardom? Rumors fly that he will soon have to dip his toes back into the charity world with his non-profit initiative Travelist, and they quite frankly make a mockery of his intentions. In what truly felt like a last, pathetic effort to dispel any of the rumors I could keep a relationship going, the video depicts a person who is clearly codependent upon their claim to celebrity. It's quite sad, really. He's so pitiful that one couldn't help but feel sorry for this misguided boy, although, at the same time, feeling worried that his vision of reality seems so empty. Let's unpack Harry's quote, "Shall I tell my therapist?" Because this conversation becomes a discursive track as Harry's pipe dream electrocutes any remaining brain cells. Because the person in the private jet creates more pollutants. Sorry, Harry, but the real environment is not humanity but the one you created with your private plane. At what point did this boy leave the planet? Not travel, or the organization revolving around it. Why should the video be a surprise? The ECO Bible bang seems to be an incoherent, disparate diatribe by the Duke of Keep Me on the front page, who lives in a world where he jets around in burning, dirty airplanes. Disgusted. It's a boy with such a bad reputation, and he's still looking for a place to stay, for which he talks about the Serpentine procession and also brings money. And the fact that he's still allowed to toy with it is outrageous. He is a human being who cannot truly speak openly. You are American, you are a citizen, but you can't hang on to the fame like in the UK. Grasp everything, don't lose everything. The funny thing is, he spouted a load of word salad with many wondering what the heck he was talking about. Quote, "Travel and tourism rely on destinations, held together by communities, without which we have nowhere to travel to." Where does he think these destinations are going to vanish to? Wiped off the face of the earth, did Meghan write his speech, and he delivered it without reading it first? It sounds like the drivel she is so fond of, such a lot of meaningless words strung together. Harry was slurring in parts, and one was left wondering, is he high? And, oh, please do not lecture us on underusing our footprint. What a tone-deaf, preachy haughty sermon from an unqualified moralist whose credentials are in question. Well, I hardly think he dares to compare his carbon footprint with mine or any other average income householder. He dares to say making sweeping generalizations about how we damage you. What does he know that I do on my occasional visits to other localities? The most unmitigated gall. Appalling lack of self-awareness and evident inability to confront his own failures, blunders, and obliviousness to the needs, rights, and legitimate grievances of others. What was he doing for you when he was partying in Nevada with a bootlegging entrepreneur? How is Henry Windsor any different, any better than his uncle when he jetted over for intensely hedonistic revels with Diddy? MEMG, who profited from encouraging extreme juvenile delinquency, let alone worse, brings so much shame and difficulty upon his family. And what about the Baka people who are the victims of the African tourism by Henry and his non-equals % charitable African Parks African Charity? By now, Surely both this travel is runner-up to American Riviera Orchard in the worst brand name ever contest, and Invictus are deeply embarrassed by their affiliation with this rambling blurter out of thuddingly wrong head diatribes at the global public. Very, very normal. He's drunk, or he's taken drugs. And by sustainable, you mean what? I'm not sure what you mean. And if that relates to sustainability, then he emits more gases, uses more fuel, more than any other single person in the whole wide world. He is that important, you know. He should stay home and raise his kids, not flit around the world. He does that just to try to go to more destinations than his brother. That has given him the feeling that he was commiserating. He is through whipping a dead horse now. He's a spare man. He was gone from Great Britain for 4 years, and the royalty survived fabulously without him. Prince Philip died, our beloved Queen died, Charles became king, Camilla became his queen, and it was coronation time. Becoming Prince of Wales. Instead of doing these utterly unnecessary things, let's all hope he has the huevos to tell his wife to stop jamming, sorry, I couldn't resist, her 20-inch stiletto into perfectly manicured mons all over the place. That must bug the natives. He should first look into his own matters before looking into other people's. Be kind to all the people, instead of kindly suggesting, it's ironic Harry doing things with a community mission to clean and make beautiful green. Does he even get the meaning of a sense of community where surrounded by loving families is counted? As for flying, trying to hitch a lift on Air Force One for our beloved Queen's funeral, which he didn't get, why doesn't he try steerage next time he sends someone to pick up his polo kit? Self-awareness zero. Please, oh, please, Harry, get off your protest crate. You are the worst travel example with all of your private jets, helicopters, and gas-guzzling and overly hill 3-in-a-row Land Rovers for your so-called safety. Your cause should have done some homework because they took you at your word. An organization needs to think a bit, you're definitely not a good representative for them. Whoever uses the picture of Harry as rep for them brings their credibility down. Hopefully, institutions give it serious thought before they touch Harry. I would be the first to boycott. One rule for Harry and Meghan, another rule for the rest of the peasants. Harry, hush now. You are making a fool of anyone you claim to be a representative of. Oh, by the way, I believe both Meghan and Harry are trying to be very unaware of the space between what they do and how. If they could exercise the flexibility to make a free assertion, issuing speeches, and orate on the subjects they do, they would never be able to, if they could have the chance to reflect on them and their behavior. Meghan, the values of family, equity, respect for women, bullying and online trolling were those loudly and publicly proclaimed but lived privately with a double standard. Then Harry. He tells what practices being a family man and caring for his planet, caring for children and their communities the right way in Africa and protecting nature and the environment, but he turns his back when it comes to all that he has done, and then the wrong duration and direction. No, practice what you preach. Absolutely selfish people should not get much room for an explanation, Harry or not, for that matter, only noting such occurrences when it involves the welfare of his family. Thus, he disregards his fallible with empty phrases such as the fact that one needs proper measurements of the bad things we bring. But let's face it, they speaks a wonderful lack of self-awareness. He stays in a big mansion wastefully burning fuel, and his jet-set lifetime on private jets every other day was man-marked. It's all easy or him, isn't he? In his overactive imagination, is he really the only one worried for his family's security? Hilarious, in the literal sense of the word. As he tries to appear smart, he pathetically makes a fool of himself. A bottomless joke. Do Harry's words make you an expert or do they open her eyes to the truth? So the fact that I implore all of you, let's jointly tear down him mask, which he amassed as a pope of public opinion. It is finally time to completely put an end to his fallacious pokerond, which he convinces others about protecting the environment and the development of tourism. In fact, it is not so even qualified or experienced. Instead of all the time, just set aside your anger and despair, think about your guilt. Below, share your opinions in the comments section. That's it for our video, my friends. I hope you have liked it. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments, and like the video. If you haven't done so yet, if you want to be first to be informed about my content, please subscribe to the channel and make sure you turn on notifications. Thank you for spending this time with me. Take care of yourself and stay healthy. I'll see you in the next one.